Alright, this is my acceptance test for project number 4, where we combine the first 3 projects together. I couldn't get it working on the system, so I'm going to be explaining the code that I put together. I suppose there's still some left to do on it to make it work. So the way I went about it was we split up each of the signals for the starting positions of the sensors, and first we initialize those key sensors, which is D2, 6, and 10. I gave them kind of arbitrary numbers so they wouldn't interfere with other variables. And then we just set up all of them and make sure they're working and detect them. And then we have an if-else statement to pick between the different systems based on the sensor inputs. So if, for instance, like D2, well, it's marked as sensor, okay, so sensor 22, which is the D6 pin on the board. If that one's true, we're going to put it in pick and place and then play that entire block of code. And then if instead sensor 23, so that's board D10, if that sensor is active, we know that it's going to be the conveyor sorting program, and then play that entire block of code. And then if it's neither of those, it's going to be the magnet swivel. It would be nice if I could put that as having variables as well, but because the sensors were disconnected at the time, that's our else statement. Otherwise, I'd have an empty else statement to retry the sensor detection. And then I have each of the systems in the main loop here. So here's our loop, and then this is for the pick and place system. If this system is pick and place, it'll initialize all the sensors so that they're not mixed matched. I think, yeah, like D6 would overlap otherwise. So we just initialize that again properly for this program. And then we have the actual loop that all the code for that program operates in. And then we have our if statement and everything in between, which is each of the actuator steps and sensor checks. And then it loops at the bottom. And our next else if is the conveyor sort system I mentioned a second ago. And we reinitialize all the pins for that one. And then we start our main loop. So as you can tell, that each of the main loops for the system will loop continuously after it finishes, so it doesn't check which system it is between cycles. It'll just stay to one system until it's plugged into a new one. So this one is for, I already said, the conveyor sorting. And so this is all the same code we used for that project, just put in there. Then our last option here is the magnet swivel. And so if it identified it as a magnet swivel, it's going to play all this code. And we reinitialized all the sensors again so they don't overlap. I think D6 on this program would have overlapped otherwise with the starting sensors that we checked with. And then we have our loop here that we're going to have all the code in. And this is a much shorter program, but it's all in here from the original magnet pick and place system. And then I guess this is kind of useless now that I got rid of the other else statement there. And then that's the whole code all together. And I tried running this through Mu on the system, and oh, that looks a little weird right now. But it was having some issues, so I might try again later though. Thank you.